Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the big story. This evening we are asking the question, is opposition alive or dead in the Republic of Kenya? And with opposition, we mean we don't mean ODM, because I've seen people on social media saying, but ODM is not the only opposition. Yes, it is not. So we're referring to all opposition parties in Kenya. We're having this conversation with Samson Cherargei. He's a senator in Nandi County. We also have Mark Nyamita, who's the member of parliament, Uriri. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with me. Senator, so just before we went for that break, I remember listening into Mbadi, and Mbadi was saying their position has not been compromised. Mheshimiwa Nyamita says they are criticizing, yes, but through consultation. Basically saying ODM is not, opposition is not dead in the country. They are criticizing, but through consultation. What are your thoughts?
They wouldn't, they wouldn't be criticizing in true consultation, because if that consultation was happening, then they would not make those statements in Migori County with the Senate Minority Leader. So I believe these are backtracking. They are just testing waters from using both of their legs. And I think one has defined them is that anything that they perceive that is in aim to fight the deputy president, they are quick to take that position, because their ideology is not only to criticize the government for the better or to assist government in terms of its policies, but the ideology majorly is the drive to fight individuals. They are fixated. And that is where the problem is, because we have seen, and I agree with Mheshimiwa from Uriri that says that parliamentarians as a whole, as provided for Article 94-96, the role of every parliamentarian or member of parliament is to oversight, is to criticize, is to participate in the running of government through budget proposal, through legislation and what have you. But the majority side always has been to push the government agenda, even in any jurisdiction. The role of the minority, if you look even at the Brexit issues that were being canvassed a few months ago in the Britain, the exit of Theresa May and even Jeremy Corbyn, who is the minority leader, those issues were being canvassed where the minority side could take a position that could to protect and to ensure they criticize fairly. But in this case, the ODM, which is has mutated from handshake to golden shake, has been very busy shooting in the dark. And when they realize that they are shooting, now a phone call from the former prime minister, they are told, no, can you backtrack on that? Because they have specific interests that they would want to share with Kenyans. So I think that the position that the ODM and as a opposition party and other opposition parties, they have failed this country terribly, because any working governance, any working government structure, any vibrant government, whichever anywhere across the jurisdiction, should have a strong, objective, focused opposition. But in this case, we have a compromise opposition who are rudderless. They don't have an agenda. Their out is to deny or to fight individuals or to put roadblocks and to imagine that in their busy shadow boxing, anything they can imagine in any event.
You don't think there's any role they play whatsoever as of now?
No, they are not playing any role. They are flower girls and page boys, which for us in government we are enjoying the moment.
Mheshimiwa Nyamita, let me go on, Senator.
That's why they're saying their work now is to amplify what us we are doing in the government. Because now we have gotten people who are doing public relations exercise for the government. They are PROs, and which is very good for us, because we are busy ensuring that we push government agenda on the floor of the House in plenary and in committees. But they are now coming in to amplify, to make a public relations exercise, and to give this narrative that now that we are now in handshake and golden shake. Everything is okay and the country is peaceful. I think that's a false narrative and a false paradise that will not hold for long.
Yeah, just listening into that conversation that Sophia had in Mbadi at the beginning of the show, he said there was a lot of bad blood at some point, and he said they could not continue that way. But Mheshimiwa Nyamita, listening into the senator, and he raises a number of issues that Kenyans have also raised, that right now they do not have someone or people who can speak on their behalf, and this is why. We saw the finance bill going through. We've had a Huduma number, and a good number of Kenyans, even the ones I've spoken to, are not even sure what that Huduma number is in the first place. We've had the housing levy, which John Mbadi says he has absolutely no problem with. And the concern that a good number of individuals have is there are several issues that are going around in the country with zero opposition, with no one raising a voice and just saying, guys, let's sit down and think about this. So basically, the opposition has chosen to look the other way on several issues in the country. Is that a position you agree with?
First, let me say, in fact, I should have said this in my opening remarks, Linda, that first of all, Kenyans must accept that this is the government that they voted for. That during the campaigns, you know, people had different opinions and they were told to vote either way, but they voted for this one. So first of all, even as we try to find ways for the many Kenyans who are complaining for different reasons, kwanza wapambane na hali yao, because this is what actually they chose. Number two,
yeah.
I think
lakini ngoja mheshimiwa, niko na swali. Wapambane na hali yao hata kama ni mbaya, mwezi wasaidia, wapambane na hali yao.
We are trying to help them. We are trying to help Kenyans, and we are trying to bring out quite a number of issues. But then I think this country also for a long time has only been used to Raila Odinga being the person who criticizes. So the other time when he sits down and is now doing this thing through consultation, everyone is saying, oh, Raila is not doing his work. It is not his role to always oppose every other thing. And what Raila, if after the handshake, when they sat together, they agreed on a couple of issues, and that's what they're pursuing. You know, I think peace is more important. Before, we would not see each other. And if you look at my friend, and you can just hear him, in each and every other statement, he must throw a jab. You know, each and every statement, he must throw a jab. And I just want to remind him, you know, even during the national prayer breakfast, if you listen to the deputy president speak in a national prayer breakfast, you know, a day that we need to submit ourselves and be humble and talk about things that bring unity to Kenyans. The former prime minister was not even there, but he was just busy. I don't know who is shadowboxing here, because everywhere they go, none of these people, and many of my colleagues, including my friend on the other side, some of them have actually gotten some little fame through name calling of Raila Odinga. And now that the landscape has changed, that now that Raila Odinga criticizing him is no longer in fashion, they lack ideas. But you see, every single time they try to drag us on the path of division, because every other time, every other election, we have gone divided. And I want to tell you, from ODM and from where I sit and what I know, is that we have said we are no longer going to allow any single politician to divide this country against any persuasion, whether tribal, whatever it is. And that is where our brothers actually succeed on. So what we have said, even if we don't do well on other things, but we are going to have Kenyans united. And we only have a few years to elections. Kenyans are going to make the right choice. Who is it that they want in parliament? Who is it that they want to lead in this country? But things that, there are many issues that we have raised. I'll tell you, for example, Huduma number, whereby the country has spent well over 5 billion. And part of it was actually spent without parliamentary approval. Okay? When it was brought to the committee, for the committee of budget to actually ratify, I think the Minister of Finance was actually put to a lot of task. I'm sure the Minister for Internal Security, Dr. Matiang'i, when he went to his respective committee to defend it, also was put to task. And that's where we work. So when it came to the committee, we said, one, Huduma number was money that was spent without approval. And it was spent under Article 223. The question was, did it qualify for that? And the answer was no. And we were saying such things should actually not happen. Because was it an emergency? Did it have to happen? Though a good thing, because now you can be identified. If I go to a place, I put my Huduma number, all my other details actually come. Okay. But the question is, was it the correct thing? Today we are seeing the government also struggling with quite a number of things. Look at what is happening in education. That's why I was having a bit of an issue with this digital, the DLP program, the digital literacy program, where they're showing the computers for schools. This government is struggling now to go on competency-based curriculum. This government has tried computers for school. It has failed. Today, we have close to over 1,000 schools where children are still learning under trees. Now we are saying you go under a tree and you learn competency-based learning. It is not on. So they're starting too many programs. This Huduma number, and the way it was done, we have census coming, we have IBC registration, and of course a referendum is coming, and my friend on the other side should know that it is coming. They should have put all these things together so that the system that they would have used to do census, to do Huduma number, and even the one that we will use should have been one, so that we also afford, because next time we're going to be told, spend another 10 billion for the census system, spend another 10 billion for the referendum, and many others. So they need to consolidate. On the housing, the 5%, 1.5% housing levy.
Sir. Yeah.
For me, again, I don't speak for the party, but I don't support it. The way it is structured, my people will not benefit from it in the village for that housing thing. And this government, the worry that we have is that they have failed to do even basic infrastructure in schools. I don't know how they will be able to do houses. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good place to end this conversation. A very big thank you, Mark Nyamita, Member of Parliament, Uriri. We're also speaking to Samson Cherargei, Senator, the County of Nandi. A big thank you as well to our lead reporter, Sophia Wanuna, who spoke to John Mbadi, who's the National Chair, ODM, and